Good day everyone, I am Lyra Pisons from Betulad 3A. So, our topic for today is about the factors that influence texture, flavor, color, and nutritional changes when cooking vegetables. Before that, let's understand first the vegetables. Vegetables were at one time abused and neglected, relegated to the minor role of unimportant side dishes, to be taken or left or not even noticed on the table. So today, however, lowly vegetables are much more appreciated, not only for their nutritional importance, but for the variety, flavor, eye appeal, and even elegance and sophistication they bring to the menu. Controlling quality changes during cooking. As a cook, you have a choice of many kinds of vegetables and many cooking methods. Not surprisingly, then you are also faced with the necessity of learning many rules for cooking vegetables. So, cooking affects vegetables in four ways. It changes the following: texture, flavor, color, and nutrients. Controlling texture changes. Changing texture is one of the main purposes of cooking vegetables. So, fiber. The fiber structures of vegetables, including cellulose and pectins, give them shape and firmness. So, the amount of fiber varies first in different vegetables. For example, the spinach and tomatoes have less fiber than carrots and turnips. Second, in different examples of these same vegetables, although carrots have more fiber than young fresh carrots. So in the same vegetable, the tender tips of asparagus and broccoli have less fiber than their tougher stalks. Fiber is made firmer by acids and sugars. So for example of the acids, lemon juice, vinegar, and tomato products, when added to cooking vegetables, extend the cooking time. And for sugars, sugar strengthens cell structure. You will use this principle primarily in fruit cookery. So fiber also is softened by heat and alkalis. In heat, in general, longer cooking means softer vegetables. So in alkalis, so you don't have to add baking soda to green vegetables. Not only does it destroy vitamins, but it also makes the vegetables unpleasantly mushy. So the second one is the starch. Starch is another vegetable component that affects texture. So first is dry starchy foods like dried legumes like beans, peas, lentils, or rice and macaroni products must be cooked in enough water for the starch granules to absorb moisture, and softened dried beans are usually soaked before cooking to replace lost moisture. So moist starchy vegetables like potatoes and sweet potatoes have enough moisture of their own, but they must still be cooked until the starch granules soften. Doneness. A vegetable is said to be done when it reaches the desired degree of tenderness. So at this stage varies from vegetable to vegetable. Some such as winter squash, eggplant, and braised celery are considered properly cooked when they are quite soft. So here's the guidelines for achieving proper doneness in vegetables. So first is don't overcook. Second, cook as close to service as possible. Holding vegetables in a steam table continues to cook them. Third, if vegetables must be cooked in advance, slightly undercook them. Cool rapidly in cold water, drain and refrigerate, then reheat to order. Fourth, for uniform doneness, cut vegetables into pieces of uniform size before cooking. Fifth, vegetables with both tough and tender parts need special treatment to the tender parts are not overcooked by the time tougher parts are done. For example, peel the woody stalks of asparagus. Peel or split broccoli stalks. Pierce the base of Brussels sprouts with a sharp knife and remove the heavy center stalks of lettuce leaves before braising. And lastly, don't mix batches of cooked vegetables. They are likely to be cooked to slightly different levels of the doneness. So let's proceed to controlling flavor changes. Cooking procedures flavor loss. Many flavors are lost during cooking by dissolving into the cooking liquid and by evaporation. The longer a vegetable is cooked, the more flavor it loses. So flavor loss can be controlled in several ways. So cook for a short time as possible. Then, use boiling salted water. Starting vegetables in boiling water shortens cooking time. The addition of salt helps reduce the flavor loss. So use just enough water to cover to minimize leaching. Note that this rule contradicts rule number 1 in that adding vegetables to a small quantity of water lowers the temperature more. So cooking time is extended. And lastly, steam. Steam vegetables whenever appropriate. Steam cooking reduces leaching out of flavor and shortens cooking time. Strong flavored vegetables. With certain strong flavored vegetables, it is desirable to lose some of the flavor to make them more appealing to the taste. These include the onion family, which is onions, garlic, leeks, shallots. The cabbage family, which is cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, and some root vegetables, which is turnips and rutabagas. When cooking strong flavored vegetables, leave uncovered to allow these flavors to escape and use larger amounts of water. Cooking and sweetness. Young freshly harvested vegetables have a relatively high sugar content that makes them taste sweet. As they mature or as they sit in storage, the sugar gradually changes to starch. To serve sweet-tasting vegetables, first is try to serve young, fresh vegetables that have been stored as short a time as possible. For older vegetables, especially those just listed, add a small amount of sugar to the cooking water to replace lost sweetness. So let's proceed to the controlling color changes. It is important to preserve as much natural color as possible when cooking vegetables, because customers may reject or accept a vegetable on the basis of its appearance. It can be said that its visual quality is as important as its flavor or nutritional value. So pigments are compounds that give vegetables their color. Different pigments react in different ways to heat and to acids and other elements that may present during cooking. In white vegetables, pigments called anthocyanins and flavonoids range from pale yellow to white. These are the primary coloring compounds in potatoes, onions, cauliflower, and white cabbage, and in white parts of such vegetables as celery, cucumbers, and zucchini. So in red vegetables, pigments called anthocyanins are found in only a few vegetables, mainly red cabbage and beets. Blueberries also are colored by these red pigments. The red color of tomatoes and red peppers is due to the same pigments that color carrots yellow or orange. Green vegetables, coloring or chlorophyll is present in all green plants. Green vegetables are common in the kitchen, so it is important to understand the special handling required by these pigments. So lastly, in controlling color changes, yellow and orange vegetables. Yellow and orange pigments, called carotenoids, are found in carrots, corn, winter squash, rutabaga, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, and red peppers. These pigments are very stable. they are little affected by acids or alkalis. Long cooking can dull the color. However, short cooking not only prevents dulling of the color but also preserves vitamins and flavors. So let's proceed to the last factor, which is controlling nutrients losses. Vegetables are an important part of our diet because they supply a wide variety of essential nutrients. They are our major sources of vitamins A and C and are rich in many other vitamins and minerals. So unfortunately, many of these nutrients are easily lost. So here are the 6 factors that are responsible for most nutrients loss. First is a high temperature, long cooking, leaching, which dissolving out, alkalis, which is the baking soda, hard water, then plant enzymes, which are active at warm temperatures but destroyed by high heat, and lastly is the oxygen. Some nutrient loss is inevitable because it is rarely possible to avoid all of these conditions at the same time. For example, pressure steaming shortens cooking time, but the high temperature destroys some vitamins. And bracing uses low heat, but the cooking time is longer. Then baking eliminates the leaching out of vitamins and minerals, but the long cooking in high temperature causes nutrient loss. And also, boiling is faster than simmering, but the higher temperature can be harmful and the rapid activity can break up delicate vegetables and increase loss through leaching. And cutting vegetables into small pieces decreases cooking time, but it increases leaching by creating more exposed surfaces. And lastly, even steaming allows some leaching out of nutrients into the moisture that condenses on the vegetables and then drips off. So before we end this discussion, there is cooking in a little liquid versus a lot of liquid. So we have to know that this is an area of controversy with good arguments on both sides. First, using a lot of liquid increases vitamin loss by leaching. So use just enough liquid to cover. Save the cooking liquid for reheating the vegetables or for stacks of soaps. And lastly, using a little liquid increases cooking time. When the vegetables are combined with a small quantity of boiling water, the temperature is lowered greatly and the vegetables must sit in warm water while it again heats up. So tests have shown that for these reasons, no more nutrients are lost when vegetables are cooked in a lot of water than when vegetables are cooked in just enough water to cover. So that would be all for describing the factors that influence texture, flavor, color, and nutritional changes when cooking vegetables. So I hope you understand. Again, I am Lara Pisans from Bitilid 3A. Thank you.